Your family can't wait around for your internet to catch up with your lifestyle. You need the mind-blowing speed you can only get with Revon broadband internet.
Mom? Mommy?
With speeds up to 70 megabits per second. Watch more, listen more, talk more, work more, and play more, all at the same time. Switch to Revon today and get 3 months free installation, and a chance to win a grand prize worth more than $5,000. Revon broadband internet. What are you waiting for? Join the revolution.
Good evening, Bahamas. This is NB12 broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Here's what's making news tonight. An inside look at shanty towns in New Providence following a shocking report. Alleged child prostitution in a Maine tourist area. 30 employees fired from Rio Palace following yesterday's protest. Plus, the former health minister has concerns about the new critical care block. Those stories and much more on the way. I'm Nakia DeVoe, and NB12 starts right now. Thanks again for joining us here at NB12. A scathing report by the Department of Environmental Health on shanty towns in New Providence isn't sitting well with residents of those communities. Now that the report is complete, they fear those villages will soon be shut down, leaving thousands of Haitians and Bahamian families homeless. Residents also took issue with researchers' claim that they live in extremely unhealthy conditions. Vonnie Toot reports.
In recent years, government officials have compiled reports of shanty towns in New Providence to shed some light on residents and their living conditions. Well, today we decided to venture into one of those communities to get a first-hand look. Our first stop was a Haitian village off Faith Avenue, where residents were huddled under a tree speaking in their native language, Creole. They were hesitant to speak at first, but eventually warmed up to us, sharing with us their way of life. That consists of pumping water from wells and using lamps to see at night in the absence of electricity.
Oh, yeah. Go to sleep. You
blow out the candle. You don't want any more fires. Most of these tiny wooden structures have 3 rooms, a bedroom, kitchen, and a room to store all of their valuables. Many of them sleep on mattresses on the floor because that's all they can afford. It's not what many of us are used to, but it's all some of them know. They fear the little they have could be gone, and hundreds of families would be homeless if government decides to shut these villages down.
Well, majority of us will have to, probably some of them that can't afford to get an apartment, probably move back home. And with me, I don't know.
Because the Bahamas is the only country you know.
Yes, right? I don't know.
Mother of 5, Yolanda Pierre, isn't alone. Ty Griffin, who is married to a Haitian national, says if that happened, their 7 children would have nowhere to go.
I really wouldn't know where to go, because at that time I'm not employed, and my husband, he don't work. Some days he works, some days he don't. So I wouldn't know.
The 2 mothers feel more fortunate people often turn their noses up at residents of shanty towns. However, Pierre pointed out that many people live in these villages because they can't afford to live anywhere else.
Actually, I'm a Haitian Bahamian. I have a Bahamian passport. My parents are Haitians, but they have residency. I don't work. I've been on a job now nearly 3 years. I don't work. And if that was a possibility of government would, which I don't think the Bahamian society would allow it, but for the Haitian Bahamian sake, just build homes and just, you understand, and let them pay a fee. It would be a better way of living for them.
Over in the Haitian village on Montgomery Avenue off Carmichael Road, one resident who is of Haitian descent had another issue with the report completed by the Department of Environmental Health. He says they're insulted by the term shanty town.
Sound discriminating, shanty town. What that's supposed to mean? What? How uptown look? It look the same way to me. It looks slum up too. When you ride through Market Street, them little houses.
According to researchers, there are at least 15 shanty towns across New Providence. Haitian nationals also took exception to researchers' claim that those who occupy shanty towns show a marked indifference to extremely unhealthy conditions, and that these villages pose a serious and growing hazard to public health. Frederick Bien-Ami says residents have worked hard to keep their surroundings clean, even posting a wooden sign in a tree to discourage dumping.
When you got garbage, carry that on the truck, shoot that on the dump. Yeah. That's all. Everybody, I tell everybody, keep your clean.
One aspect of the Shantytown report that concerned government officials was that some residents of Haitian communities would put feces into shopping bags and throw them into bushes. However, residents of this area say that doesn't apply to them. Many of them who don't have bathroom facilities share this bathroom right here, which one resident holds the key to. As you can see, there's a pipe on the roof to let the air out.
Yeah, everybody could use that.
And it has running water?
Yeah.
So what happens, let's say, if someone has to use the bathroom in the night? You have to get the key from him every time, or is it usually open?
Yeah, everybody, before he sleep, he could give me one people key. You know, get cell, could go open the door.
However, Bien-Ami, who has lived in the Haitian village for 4 years, says he doesn't plan to use the outside toilet much longer. You'd like to be able to eventually, build a bathroom onto your house?
Yeah. When I finish put water, I flush it. You go down.
Pierre says some people may consider their living conditions unhealthy, but they're doing the best they can.
People would say it's bad, but I don't see it being bad. Only thing that matters is garbage, but the people do the very best they can to keep the environment clean.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Veronique Tude.
Following concerns that the shooting death of an American man this past weekend will reflect negatively on the Bahamas, Tourism Minister Obi Wilshcombe today revealed additional risks to the country's reputation and tourism product. Celeste Nixon has the details in this report.
Wilshcombe said the government is alarmed by reports of child prostitution and drug dealing taking place at Festival Place. The tourism minister said they are taking every measure to address criminal activity in tourist hotspots, which could pose a threat to the country's #1 industry.
I'm dealing with matters now over at the Festival Place because we're hearing about some incidences that we believe if we do not arrest will be more than embarrassing for the country. We're hearing about a lot of solicitation taking place. We're hearing about a lot of drugs being sold, and we're hearing also a very troubling situation about prostitution involving boys.
Festival Place is a welcome center located in downtown Nassau, where tourists, cruise ship passengers, and hotel guests can receive information about the country, obtain transportation, and purchase Bahamian-made souvenirs and crafts. Wilshcombe said, from what they understand, visitors are being solicited for these alleged illegal activities. He said these acts speak to the deterioration in the social fabric of the country. Wilshcombe criticized the former F&M administration, who he said disbanded the Tourism Police Unit, which was established to tackle crime downtown and other areas frequented by tourists. He also hit out at opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis's recent comments on crime, accusing him of waffling. Wilshcombe said party politics should not be part of the fight against crime, noting that this criminal activity is not a recent development.
When the F&M stopped the tourism police, when we had put it in place in the last administration, they should have left it. It would have by now manifested into what it was supposed to have been. It's high time that politicians learn to be more mature in handling situations, and the leader of the opposition is to stop flip-flopping all over the place. And every single day you hear him, he's one day this way, one day the next way. When you were a member of the government, you should have been making that statement then, because this is not an issue that's come overnight. These issues have been manifested, and this is now the full manifestation.
Wilshcombe said the government intends to increase security at all tourism centers. He said visitors need to know that they are safe when they come to the Bahamas, or it will impact the country's tourism product.
To make sure that we work with some of the security agencies just to have a presence. We're a tourism destination, and because we are trying to get the numbers here, we're trying to get more cruise ships here, we're trying to get more overnight visitors here, well, we're saying that we want them to be a part of our economy. Well, if we don't do it, then they're going to stay over at Paradise Island, not come across. They're going to stay at Cable Beach and not come on the strip of Bay Street. They'll stay on the cruise ships and not come off. That's not what we want.
Head of Central Police Station, Superintendent Ashton Greenslade, said they have not been able to verify those reports. Reporting for NB12, I'm Celeste Nixon.
Well, police have a second suspect in custody for the shooting death of 34-year-old American Kyle Bruner, who was murdered on East Bay Street early Sunday morning. Just 3 hours after arresting the first suspect, Anton Bastian, aka Lolly, police say they arrested a 20-year-old man of Clark Alley off Abraham Street. But the third suspect is still at large. Police are still on the hunt for 18-year-old Leo Bethel of Balls Alley. Yesterday, officers released a wanted bulletin for the third man wanted for questioning in connection with the murder of Bruner, a sailor from Chicago, Illinois, during an armed robbery. Well, they're still asking members of the public to come forward with any information they may have on Bethel's whereabouts. Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe says he understands Bruner's family holds nothing against the Bahamas, but he adds there must be an all-out effort to end the scourge of crime before everything Bahamians have been working for is destroyed. A man was killed in a freak accident during construction on the Airport Gateway project this morning. Police are currently investigating the matter as safety concerns surrounding the project come to light. Christina McNeil spoke to workers at the construction site shortly after the incident took place and filed this report.
Work on the Airport Gateway project came to a standstill this morning after a worker was struck with 11,000 volts of electricity. Shortly after 9:30 this morning, workers were at John F. Kennedy Drive just west of Blake Road when tragedy struck. Cable Bahamas underground technician Bradford Wallace recalls watching the deadly scene unfold.
From a distance about 200 to 300 feet, I noticed a dump truck lifting the dump to fill, and while I was lifting it, touched the electrical line overhead and see a bunch of spark and fire and smoke.
Workers say the area surrounding the Mack truck was consumed with flames in a flashover. It wasn't until the fire went out that workers saw the burned body of their co-worker.
After I noticed that, I take a drive down closer to the site and noticed a gentleman lying on the road, on the ground. There's a little bit burn about his body.
According to a statement issued by the Bahamas Electricity Corporation, the truck was attempting to dump its load of fill when it made contact with one of BEC's 11,000-volt overhead lines. The overhead lines were singed black where the truck made contact, and more burn marks could be seen around the truck's battery and tires. Workers explained that in order for the truck to dump its load, a lever on the outside of the driver's side must be pulled. Reports are the victim was pulling this lever when he was electrocuted. While it is common for electricity to remain on when construction is underway, workers say it may be too dangerous for those on site.
I think they should, whoever in charge is turn the power until they get the road all completed, because that's like the third time I see an incident like this happen. Twice in 1 month last year in the day, and one night shift I was on, I see it also happen. So I think it's really dangerous waking with this power and the trucks have to be lifting the dump fill.
The victim was transported to hospital via ambulance but succumbed to his injuries. BEC today sent condolences to the family and colleagues of the deceased, whose identity has not yet been released. NB12 understands the victim was an employee of Knowles Construction, believed to be a Jamaican. This is the second on-site death of an Airport Gateway project worker. 26-year-old Renardo Tyson Miller was killed January 11th when he was crushed by a Mack trailer near the John F. Kennedy Drive and Gladstone Road roundabout. Government signed a $67 million contract with China Construction America Incorporated for the Airport Gateway project in 2010. Knowles Construction is a subcontractor. No comment was available from CCA and Knowles Construction up to airtime. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.